Good morning, Folsom High. It's Thursday, October 17th, and it's time for the news. I'm Sarah Fardan.
And I'm Megan Largent. We have the news coming up, but first, please stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Here's the news. Students, there will be an MSA meeting today after school in Miss Johnston's room, C103. Join them for some food and information on upcoming events. And the Red Cross Club has a meeting today immediately after school in AC 105. Also, do you like science? Science Olympiad is looking for additional team members. More information about this competition can be found at sonic.org under Division C. If you are interested in competing, please see Mr. Comune in room D102.
The girls Frosh Soft and junior varsity volleyball teams play today.
A few weeks ago, Megan and I visited both teams and talked to the players and coaches to see what the sport is all about.
Roll the clip.
Girls volleyball is one of the many sports at Folsom High during the fall. We visited the girls Frosh Soft and junior varsity volleyball teams to see what they're looking forward to in the new season.
I'm looking forward to just playing with my team and winning.
Volleyball has affected my life outside of this. It takes up a lot of my time, so I barely have any time to do homework and other commitments like clubs and stuff, but it's still a lot of fun to do, and I'm really glad I chose to do it.
A lot of what the team does would not be possible without the Frosh Soft assistant coach, Monica DeWare.
In general, I think sports are important because we develop so many life skills. I think it teaches them a lot of responsibility. It teaches them a lot of discipline. It teaches them things that they can then take on later and apply anywhere, helping them identify what goals they want to work on throughout the season and kind of helping them develop a plan to work towards those goals and have something that they've accomplished at the end of the season. And I appreciate sports for that value.
The junior varsity team also develops similar skills while playing volleyball.
Being part of a team means you have to hold yourself accountable to meet your own goals, but also team goals. And then time management is big, especially as a student athlete. You have to balance the life of a student with schoolwork and homework and studying for tests. Also doing your homework for practice, coming ready to play, and being a good teammate.
Both teams are excited for a season full of friends and fun. This is Sarah Fardan from the FHS Bulletin.
Come see both volleyball teams play tonight at Granite Bay High School at 5 p.m. In other news, Bring Change to Mind Club is meeting today after school from 3:10 to 4:10 p.m. in Ms. Ramos's room P9. Also, the Eco Geek Club is holding a book cycle drive starting today. All students may donate children's books, prep textbooks, or novels in acceptable condition to B103 or any participating teacher. They will sell the books for low prices outside the library beginning October 21st. All donations and sales will end on December 6th.
Last month, our reporter Daniel Kramer visited Mr. Wright's AP Physics class to talk to them about their bottle rockets.
Take it away, Daniel.
3, 2, 1.
Today, students in Mr. Wright's AP Physics class got to launch their custom-made bottle rockets. Over the past several class periods, these students have been hand-building rockets out of household items, applying physics in their designs. While there is some friendly competition out here today, everybody is just excited to see how their rockets will perform and see whose will do the best.
This is a contest where we see how high our rockets can launch, and we built these ourselves, and I really don't know what to say. So can you please stop?
Wait, what am I supposed to say? Was that part of the question? So our rockets have fins and a nose cone, and they're 2-liter soda bottles, and based on this, it's supposed to fly up and far.
We put several class periods into making this rocket, so I have high hopes for this thing.
We're here today to launch these bottle rockets that we've been spending quite a few class periods working on. Well, our confidence in our rocket was pretty high. We already launched, actually.
Oh, really?
This one did really well.
This one, the fin came off.
In the end, some rockets performed better than others. But the most important thing is that everyone came out, gave it their best shot, and had fun. I'm Daniel Kramer with the Folsom High Bulletin, signing off.
Thanks, Daniel. Students, this year's Powder Puff game is today at 6:30 p.m. in the Prairie City Stadium. The event is free and open to the public. And if you are planning to wrestle for Folsom High this year, preseason conditioning starts next week and will be Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. Meet in the wrestling room at 4 p.m. with running shoes on. Preseason conditioning will continue until the first official day of practice on November 4th. The FHS wrestling team are the defending Sierra Foothill League champions.
During the weeks before homecoming, Sydney Fagan visited the senior homecoming float construction and got a closer look at the students' process of bringing the project to life.
Here she is now to tell us more.
Homecoming float building is an activity that happens every year between the classes. This year's theme was board games, and seniors did Monopoly. Students go around to different stores and collect donations so they can build their floats entirely by hand.
My favorite part about working on the float is just getting together with a bunch of other seniors and just working to build something that will eventually be in the parade, and it's a lot of fun to just see it come to life.
Students from all over campus come to help construct the float.
Yes, sir.
Engineering kids helped put up the buildings. Art kids came and painted the tiles on the side. Jack Piazzoni, our ASB PRC, dressed up as the Monopoly Man for the float. Also appearing on the float were two bulldogs, one dressed in a tux and another one dressed as a prisoner, alongside Megan Friery.
My favorite part about the parade is definitely seeing the kids' faces light up when they see our float. Even though we might not have the best float out there, it's still so much fun to entertain them. I'm so very proud of all the hours that we put in building this float, and no matter what place we get, I want my class to know that I wouldn't have it any other way.
I'm not a burglar, all right? I look the part, sure, but this is real money. This ain't counterfeit money. Why you calling it counterfeit money?
The heart, soul, and passion put in by the seniors is why they easily won the float building competition. This has been Doghouse Productions, signing off.
Awesome, Sydney. Attention all current AP students. AP test registration is early this year and registration is now open. Please see our AP teacher for details or visit the Folsom High School website, click Students, then click Advanced Placement. Seniors, if you have not had your senior portrait taken for the yearbook, Prestige Studio will be on campus Monday, October 21st. All seniors who need their portrait taken will receive information in the mail regarding their specific appointment time on Monday between 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. If you wish to have your portrait taken at the studio, please contact Prestige immediately.
Our next news story comes from David Wallace, who went to the student government class to Camp Winters.
It was 3 days and 2 nights of fun. Tell us more about it, David.
Every year, the student government class takes a 3-day, 2-night trip to Camp Winters in Soda Springs, California. They take this trip in hopes to make the class like a big family. They leave on a Friday before school, take a quick stop at an In-N-Out for lunch, then after a 2-hour bus ride, finally arrive at Camp Winters. While there, they do a number of team-building activities. One of the first things they do is the cardboard box race. The class also goes on a class hike. We have a reporter in the field to tell you all about it.
We are about 60% through the first mile, so not far at all. I'm still dead.
This year on the hike, one of the teachers took half the students up to the top of the mountain while the other half stayed down at the bottom. After the long hike, the students go back to the camp and decide this year's homecoming theme. That same night, they also have a campfire and the teachers told scary stories. On the last day, they have to pack up and leave by 9 o'clock in the morning. As you can see, StuGov has a pretty fun weekend in Camp Winters.
Shrek the Musical is opening at Folsom High this November, and rehearsals have already begun.
Our last news story is from Alex Lobitz. Auditions for the musical took place earlier in the school year, and he decided to go check it out.
Here's what he brought back.
The fall musical is a very exciting time here at Folsom High School. Auditions have been happening this week, and we decided to take it upon us to interview some people auditioning for Shrek, the musical. Let's go check it out. Let me in! Let me in! So, apparently the auditions were moved. We talked to the Mosers and we weren't able to get in to actually get video footage of the auditions, but we're going to try our best to see what we can do. Alright, what's up, boy? How's it going, boy? So, who are you auditioning for today?
Is this legal right now? Okay.
Come back.
What? Say what you just said? What?
Do you have a birthday?
Do I have a birthday? Apparently I do. I mean, it wasn't one that I consented in, but it happened. Yeah. Are you wondering what it is? No.
So who are you? What brought you to audition for this character specifically?
For Donkey? Well, I'm short.
So who are you auditioning for today?
Everything, because I'm not picky.
Okay. If I were auditioning, I would probably audition for the gingerbread man.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm the gingerbread man!
See, I think I would do a pretty good job.
That's lovely, thank you.
Yeah. Clapping and having so much fun. I'm just sad I couldn't be there for it. Yeah, I want to support these kids and give them a shot.
That's all for the news this Thursday, Bulldogs. I'm Sarah Fardan.
And I'm Megan Largent. We'll leave you now with some short films from Video Production 1. Let's make it a great Thursday to be a Bulldog.
My name is Sammy Sadir, and this is the photo essay about the time I went to Izmir, Turkey with my friends. We went to Izmir, Turkey for a robotics competition, but spent the first 2 days touring the wonderful country. We first started by going to the House of Virgin Mary and visiting her statue. The house was a greenery-filled place, just as much of Turkey is. On our way to the House of the Virgin Mary, we stopped for lunch and had fresh balsamic vinegar to eat with bread. At the house, we lit candles as a sign of good luck, and even wrote a wish on a napkin and put it on the wishing wall for good luck during our robotics competition. On the way back, we went to Ephesus ruins and saw ruins that were made in the 10th century. Most of the small pieces have been eroded, but the bigger architecture was preserved very well and is still standing. The ruins are also home to many stray dogs and cats that live inside. We next went to a street market and visited antique shops and brought Turkish delights to share with the people back home. Unlike places in America that use gelatin, Turkish delights are made out of plants and have very different flavors such as rose and mint. The streets were pretty narrow considering how many shops there were. Yup, that's me, turned around looking at bracelets and keychains to get a souvenir. We next participated in a parade where all the teams from all over the world were encouraged to wave their flags. We proudly held the American flag above our heads and made sure to chant USA very loud. Once again, this is my photo essay about the time I went to Izmir, Turkey with my friends for a competition and came back with a lifetime of memories.
Hi, my name is Logan Hedden. Today, I'm going to be talking about my 1967 VW Bug that I'm restoring. A few years ago, my dad and his friends started a car club. Over time, I went to a lot of the events the club had. My brother and I fell in love with the hobby and we both wanted a bug. We started to keep our eyes out for some cars. Then we found one. We found two 1967 VW Bugs. When we went to pick up the cars, we found 2 car bodies, boxes of parts, and a whole lot of potential. We started to paint the wheels, front axle, transmission, and the pan of the car. As of right now, the car is waiting bodywork and paint. Thank you for watching my video about my 1967 VW Bug.
Hi, my name is Caitlin Hanna, and my photo essay is going to be about my experience riding horses and my own horse. I started riding horses when my friend Brooke, who owns a horse, asked me if I wanted to come along a few years ago. I ended up going and riding this horse named Poe, who was a retired police horse. I rode him for about a year. After I started feeling like I wasn't progressing on him, Brooke and I moved barns and I leased 2 horses there, Whiskey and Bailey, for a little less than a year. Whiskey was a very calm kid's horse, but Bailey was really energetic, so I learned a lot on her from falling off all the time. After I leased them for a while, I asked if I could buy my own horse, and I ended up buying my first horse in April. His name is Rio, and he's an off-the-track thoroughbred. Off-the-track means he was raced when he was younger. He was raced at 4 years old, and he's 16 now. In his racing career, he earned around $32,000, and his jockey has earned a little over $14 million in his entire career. Rio's previous owner also did a little bit of cross-country riding on him. Right now, he lives at the ranch where Whiskey and Bailey are, and he lives in a pasture with Brooke's horse. I ride mostly English, but I started off riding Western. I usually go on trail rides with my friends, and I occasionally jump him for fun, but I'm hoping to get more into show jumping as I progress with him. This has been my photo essay on my experience with horses. Thank you for listening.
Hey, my name is Carson. I'll be telling you about my mission trip to Mexico. Over spring break, my church does a missions trip to Mexicali every year to build and rebuild homes, support the local churches by playing with the kids, and serving the less fortunate. We left for this trip early in the morning, drove to a church that opened its doors up to 500 kids to sleep on the floors in Corona, California. No one got any sleep that night. In the morning, me and my friends went to the skate park across the street. There's a kid doing rails and kick flips on his board. He was pretty cool. His name was Trevor. He was about 10 years old. We had breakfast burritos and orange juice for breakfast in the morning. We drove again for the whole day and got to the border around 4 p.m. Crossing the border from the United States to Mexico was extremely quick and easy. We didn't need to bring out our passports or show identity, because Mexico does not care. After the border crossing, we drove for 3 more hours to get to our campsite. The site was massive, on a farmer's private field in the middle of nowhere. There was a lot of tents. We had limited water, but we lasted the week. A couple of times there were dogs running around scared, sometimes chickens, and random beat-down cars driving past too. We would drive every day to our church site to hang out with the niños and niñas, then leave in between to eat lunch with our impact groups. The tacos were bomb, of course. The Coca-Colas were better tasting in Mexico than the United States. It was a fun and dirty week. All in all, I'd go back for the experience and friends. It was such a great time, but it didn't last long.
Hello, my name is Andrew Gall, and this is my essay on why Stockholm, Sweden contains a godlike being. One thing that H.P. Lovecraft was famous for were his stories of unknown, unseen beings of immense power. These beings can manipulate the minds of the weak and drive them insane. You might think this is all fiction, but you're wrong. I believe I have discovered such a being can exist, and it resides in the town of Stockholm, Sweden. The Stockholm-Arlanda Airport is a being of immense power. At first, it tricks you into entering its lair. Its modern architecture against the cold atmosphere of Sweden gives off an appealing sight. This is the disguise it uses to lure you in. The creature gives you entertainment, like Wi-Fi and food, but once you've agreed to their terms and conditions, it's already taken your soul. Soon the creature begins to distort time, so it seems like an eternity has passed while you are waiting for your plane to arrive. It begins to purposefully break your spirit. It delays flights, it cancels flights, and makes you wait in long, endless lines while the image of Adam Driver selling watches plays on a loop. I was lucky to escape on a flight the next day, but I fear for the prisoners that reside there, waiting for the flight that'll never come. I want to take this moment to thank you for listening to my essay. Some of you may laugh and not believe me, and that's fine. But when you have an extended layover in an unknown country, I won't be there to help.
Hello, my name is Elliot Smith, and my photo essay is on why Paul Blart Mall Cop is an underrated classic. Paul Blart is a mall cop at West Orange Pavilion Mall who lives with his daughter, Maya, and his mother. Paul is what every mall cop should aspire to be. He takes his job incredibly seriously, has a self-sworn oath to protect the mall, and does everything in his power to fulfill that oath. The plot is that Paul's mall gets taken over by bad guys, Vec being the leader. Vec was the guy that Paul trained to be a mall cop. They take hostages, and after a bit, they even get Maya, his daughter, as a hostage. They want the credit card codes from the card machines. which Paul writes down in a borrowed phone after finding them in invisible ink on the bad guy's arms. Paul takes out each guy using his wits and eventually gets into a final showdown with Vec on a runway, where Paul wins by pinning him down and cuffing him, but is then threatened by the chief of the SWAT, who was with Vec the whole time. The SWAT chief gets arrested and they all reunite. The movie shows that Paul will do anything to protect the ones he cares about, which is pretty noble, but Paul is a little creepy and awkward, but he has guts and incredible luck. Paul is the kind of guy you want to be and don't want to be at the same time. People always bash this movie, but I really don't know why. I love this movie. They did play it to death, and it is a goofy concept, but still, it was a big part of my childhood. Overall, fantastic movie in my opinion. That was my photo essay on why Paul Blart Mall Cop is an underrated classic. Thanks for listening.
Hey there, I'm Gavin Castle, and I'm doing my photo essay on why Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 isn't such a bad sequel. In this movie, Paul is a mall cop who works at the West Orange Pavilion Mall, and after getting divorced, after 6 days and his mother getting hit by a milk truck, Paul hits his lowest point. Poor Paul. Soon after, Paul gets an invitation to Las Vegas for an award ceremony with his daughter Maya, but at the same time, she's hiding her acceptance letter into UCLA. During the movie, a man named Vincent is trying to steal artwork from the hotel and trying to sell it. While Paul groups up with other mall security invited to the ceremony to find out what's happening with the staff, Paul's daughter, Maya, finds Vincent's group and gets kidnapped by him. Paul has to go on a chase to find Vincent and use a zipline to get on a helicopter pad. Maya beats Vincent with oatmeal, his allergy, and Paul headbutts him. Awesome, Paul. Maya later moves on to UCLA, and Paul gets a number from an officer, which her horse kicks him. Overall, Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 is a great movie that I remember watching all the time. It may not have as good of a plot or a story than the first movie, but it sure is hilarious if you grew up watching it. Thanks for watching my photo essay on Paul Blart 2.
Hello, my name is Sarah Cannon and my photo essay is on drawing, or at least my experience with it. I've been drawing pretty much since I could pick up a pencil, and even though it was basically the equivalent of a toddler scribbling on a wall, I was still pretty proud at the time. Drawing's pretty important to me because it's helped me through a lot, plus it's just kind of fun, you know? After all, who doesn't want to settle down with a piece of paper and a digital canvas? Just draw to your heart's content. Or in my case, doodle stupid drawings that make you laugh, because you laugh at your own jokes like a weirdo. I tend to draw stuff like Pokemon, animals, and dragons, but mostly I just draw cats. I love cats, and I've spent years and years of drawing to develop my own unique drawing style. Yes, I have my own characters as well, like pretty much any art nerd does, except these characters, yeah, they're also cats. Hopefully if I did the editing right, you should be seeing all 4 of them now. They mean a lot to me, and I think it's really cool to be able to bring them to life through drawings. Anyway, yeah, drawing and pretty much art in general is great, and don't be surprised if you see sketches on literally every single handout or paper I get. My name is Sarah Cannon, and my photo essay has been on drawing. Thank you for listening.